It's spring again, and Easter is fast approaching. The first time in the year that the Crofton beam engines will be in steam. The station is open from early March to October, but only on bank holidays and special occasions do the public get a chance to see the pumping station in steam. Engineering enthusiasts maintain the station all year round. The volunteers are from all walks of life, and regardless of their knowledge or skills, become involved in the activities associated with maintaining and running the station. Cutting the grass, polishing, oiling, painting, and making sure everything's in working order before the arrival of their seasonal visitors. Our good friend Larry Crosier and Kennet and Avon enthusiast is someone who contributed to the rebuilding of the chimney. He gives a brief guide of the workings and history of the station.
This is Wilton Water. It's a man-made lake, and it's the highest point on the Kennet and Avon Canal where there's a natural supply of water. The water is provided by springs, and it is used by Crofton pumping station to supply the canal with water. Crofton pumping station. Originally there was going to be a tunnel which would have been 1,412 yards long, but by the time they come to construct the tunnel, that the pumping engines which was used in mines had been developed to such a state that they were able to use a pumping engine, and it was able to reduce the tunnel to 502 yards. And what happens is that the water from Wilton Water behind goes through a conduit into the pump, then pumped up to the top level, which is 40 feet, and then it follows the lead around to the top lock, and then the water is distributed either coming back down the locks this way or going on the locks down to Bath. This is the Lancashire boilers. They date from about 1901, and these were made at Swindon, and they replaced earlier boilers. This is the cylinder which actually works the beam. But there's a high pressure cylinder and the low pressure cylinder, and what happens is that it's up the top, and then this drops down, and over on this side the water is sucked up through here, and that runs out through the launder to the leat at the back of the building. This is the actual valve gear for working the pumps. Now this is the main part of the engines here. This is the top of the cylinders. This one here is the Bolton and Watts, which was made in Birmingham, and the firm they mainly supply the collieries. The other one across there is made by Hales in Harvey's of Hale in Cornwall, and they supplied their pumping gear mainly for the Cornish tin mines. Behind you can see the bulb gear, which works the cylinder. You've got 3 sets of bulbs. You've got the steam throttle bulb, the steam inlet bulb, and the exhaust bulb. We are now at the back of the pumping station. Behind me you can see 2 launders where the water comes out after being pumped up from the canal below. It enters into the brick basin and then it flows along the leat for about half a mile to the top pound. If you look behind me you can see water which is being poured out from a pipe. Because nowadays they use an electric pump because the steam pumps are only used on special occasions. We are now looking at the chimney for Crofton pumping station. This is the 3rd chimney. The first one was built in 1807 but was in such a bad state of repair by 1845 it was taken down and replaced with an iron one. That one only lasted for 10 years or so, and so this present chimney, that one was built in 1856. Unfortunately in 1959 the top was unsafe and so it had to be taken away, and there was an electric pump which was put in to create the suction required for the boilers to work properly. However, in 1996 it was decided to restore the chimney to its original condition, and if you look closely you can see that the bricks at the top are a different colour than the ones at the bottom, and that is where the chimney has been restored. We are now at Bruce Tunnel. It is called Bruce Tunnel because it was named after the Earl of Aylesbury, Thomas Bruce. The tunnel is 502 yards long. It would have been 1,412 yards if they hadn't have had the pumping stations down at Crofton. If you look to my left, you will see that there's the towpath going up over the top of the tunnel, and back in the olden days there was a chain right through the tunnel, and the boatmen used to pull the boats through the tunnel by using the chain, and the horses went over the top. When the tunnel was originally built there was over 2 million bricks. These were made at Devizes and transported up here by boat, and they say that because of the amount of bricks required for the tunnel that the canal locks at Devizes were late in being finished.